Well, you're very welcome to this little review of my favourite paint set, which is a set made by Roman Szmal over in Poland. And it's not new to me. I've been using this for a good couple of years now. The colours are all chosen and curated by me, and Roman is good enough to put them together for me. And in today's set, which is just brand new, I have these in stock, so I kind of get high on my own supply and crack into my stock when I need a new set, and mine are looking a bit worn, so I figured I would kill two birds with one stone. I would give you a review of how these colours work and how I use them, and I would have a new set as well. So my daughter is in her last year at school and she only has a week to go, and she really had it up to the eyeballs at school and asked me, she texted me and said, "Mum, any chance you could come and get me?" And I needed to go down to Kinvara, which is not too far from her school, to do a painting. So I said, "Sure thing, I'll come and get you and maybe you'd like to paint with me." And she said, yeah, she'd love to do that. So we took a wrong turn on the way to Kinvara from her school, because you go the back roads, and it was just incredible to be greeted with this site, the site of Mullock Moor. This is a kind of a low mountain in the Burren, and it's just, so dramatic and beautiful. Of course, the dog had to make a racket and a holy show of himself, but I love all the cracks in the rocks where these little ecosystems live and thrive. And of course, the Burren is unbelievable for wildflowers, like orchids, gentians, violets, ferns. It's just amazing. So after messing around in the fields for a while, we made our way to Kinvara village. It was still raining by then, actually, and we got sketching. We parked up by the harbour, and I started with the buildings in the distance. I'm using a purpley pink ink that I had in one of my Fugitive 55 degree pens, and this video is about colour, but suffice to say that when I draw, I start at one little spot and I draw in ever increasing spirals or circles, and I just keep going until everything's filled in. So here we are with the whole drawing all done, all the buildings, everything's all fitted in nicely, more or less. And my daughter Liv took a little video of me doing some of the drawing, and the eagle-eyed amongst you might notice that when I hold the pen, I'm flicking the nib around from one side to the other, so that sometimes I've got a thin line, that's that one there when it's reversed, and sometimes I've got a wider line if it's been used in the normal way. So that's the beauty of a Fuji pen, it's that you can get a great variety of nib width from very fine to very wide, and as long as you keep the pen upright in the vertical position, your line won't be too wide. But if you do want a very broad line, you just flip it over and put it at a low angle. So here's my paints. I've put a sticker on because, why not? These are my stickers that have just arrived, and so I'm looking for an excuse to put them on anything. So this set isn't new to me. Well, this particular set is, but these colours aren't new to me. I'm very familiar with them. I know them very well because I chose the colours, so of course I do. Now, we've got Aquarius yellow, we've got Aquarius orange, cherry quinacridone red, we've got ultramarine intense, we've got phthalo blue and Payne's grey on one side. Then on the other side we have phthalo green, we have sap green, we have Aquarius green, and then we've got yellow ochre, burnt sienna, Monte Amiata and cypress burnt umber. And then in the middle we've got mineral violet, because I like it and it's useful, and I do have those in stock as well. And we've got magenta. I always include either magenta or opera rose as a little free gift. And then we've got, most excitingly, we've got shadow grey, which is just new to me. I'd never really used it before today, so I'm excited to give it a go. See what happens. Can't have too many greys. So it's time to start painting. Now, we have a special guest today. Not the carrot cake, no. This is, oh wow, that's beautiful. This is my girl, Olivia.
Hello.
And she is painting the same scene as I am. And she's got a mini little kit here, which has got 10 colours. And they're also by Roman Szmal, all except for the shocking pink one, which is by Shinhan Premium. And I also have a guest in the back. Hello, Ruben. Okay, So we'll check back in a little while and we've made some progress. Okay, time for some sky, and the type of sky we have right now, as you can see, it's got like loads of blue bits and loads of clouds. So what I'm going to do is whoops, green. This is what happens when you share water. So I'm going to put some clean water on where I want the blue bits to go, and what that will do is it will, sorry, just getting some water, it'll make the paint completely smooth as it dries. So I'll do that and then I'll show you afterwards, because it's a bit hard to do and film at the same time. So I'm starting to get somewhere now with the buildings, and I've used a mixture of Payne's grey and shadow grey with a little bit of mineral violet for the slate roof tiles as well. And that's mostly for the roofs. And then for the windows, for the glass, I am going to use a mixture of Payne's grey and phthalo green, because it gives a very tasteful and quite authentic looking window glass colour. Ooh, I like the seawall, very algae-ish, Livy. And your sky is nice, it's dried very flat. Very good. Do you have any thoughts about the ease of use of that mini set, Liv?
Oh, it's great, yeah.
In what way?
I like how they're dipped into the holder. Because
you mean they're flush with the top?
They're flush with the top, okay. Exactly. And I couldn't even tell you why I like it. It's just really nice.
Well, that's useful. Thank you, Olivia.
Olivia said that was a leading question, and she's right. You can't really ask questions with the answer built into it, like how useful do you find that mini set? So I apologise for that, and I'll try to be more objective in future. Well, I'm on the home stretch and there's no getting away from it. I have to put on some really intense colour. Hope it works for me. Okay, so I'm done the sketch, and sadly this is a dead car. The battery is gone because I had the lights on like a big Egypt while I was sketching for so long with Olivia. So anyway, I'm pleased with my tree foliage, but I did attempt to portray the very strong colours of Kinvara, which I normally don't like doing because I don't like clashing colours. So that's kind of what happened here, but at the same time, that is Kinvara. Coming back to it the next day, I kind of think it looks good. So that's a first for me, making strong colours work together well. So Liv and I figured that we'd find someone. We were sort of looking for a man who might be able to jumpstart the car. We had our leads in the car, so that was something. And this is the Pierhead restaurant. So off I toddled to see if there was anybody there who might be able to give us a hand.
Bye. Bye, everybody. Hope to see you soon. If you don't hear from me, it's because I don't know, died here. Bye.
Starved to death.
Starved to death.
Well, despite being in the middle of preparing dinner for everybody, the French chef from the Pierhead came to our rescue and we're soon on our way. Okay, so the next day I decided I would give you a more thorough examination of the paints that are in the set by Roman Szmal, curated by moi, Roshan Curé, because each of these colours has got a very strong job. Now, the next ones are optional extras and they vary according to my stock. In my set, I've added mineral violet, shadow grey, opera rose and magenta. Oh no, not opera rose, but yes, magenta. So here we go. Here, and it depends on what I have in stock. Sometimes I have different colours, sometimes I have those. What can I say? I'm a person of whim. So here's all my little boxes, and each one. Oh, and that's wrong, by the way. It's not French Ultramarine Intense. It's Ultramarine Intense. So it was a bit late to change that once I'd already filmed it, and I wasn't going to do it again. So sorry about that. There's French Ultramarine, and then there's Ultramarine Intense, and Ultramarine Intense is the one that I have. Okay, Aquarius yellow, a clean, bright yellow, very versatile. Aquarius orange is a lovely kind of almost a burnt orange. Absolutely love it. Cherry quinacridone red has got a very important place in this palette, as you will come to see. It is the base colour for most of the skin tones that I make. Ultramarine Intense, a gorgeous clear blue. I know loads of people love ultramarine. I don't use it very much, but when I need it, I need it. Now the next one is Payne's Grey, which is probably the colour I use most of all. I use it for so many things. Phthalo Blue is a great sky colour and it's just a really lovely blue. Phthalo Green is very rarely used neat, but I am an urban sketcher, so I do like my colours to be extra bright and extra intense because you can always dull them down. You can't brighten them. Sap Green is something I use a lot for foliage. I usually add a little bit of yellow or yellow ochre to it though, to make it a bit more realistic. But when I don't have time to fiddle around with my greens, Aquarius Green comes to the rescue because it is just a beautiful sludgy olive green, very granulating. So it's just used neat and it's perfect. Yellow ochre, totally indispensable for all kinds of uses. Burnt sienna, Monte Ammiata. I just really like the rich reddy brown of this particular burnt sienna. I've no idea what the Monte Ammiata stands for. That's a colour name that Roman himself puts on it. Cypress burnt umber, a gorgeous rich burnt umber. Roman does do a few of them, but this is the one I chose just because it had the right balance of warmth and darkness. And onto the optional colours. Shadow grey, very similar to Payne's Grey. You can see Payne's Grey peeking out of the top there, and I'm excited to see what I can do with Shadow Grey. Mineral violet, an optional extra that I didn't have for a very long time, and now I just really love it. Opera Rose. Now the one I sell is by Jackson's and it is while stocks last. And if I don't have any of those, I will pop in a magenta for you because you do have to have your bright, shocking, intense pink for all kinds of reasons. So here's an overview of the colours that come in my set, including the optional ones. Now, the Cherry Quinacridone Red, these are my 5 colours for skin tones. And you can see that mixed with each other, mixed with those colours, there isn't a single skin tone that you can't get. And if there is, well, tell me which one there is, because between those 5 colours, yellow ochre, cherry quinacridone red, burnt sienna, cypress burnt umber and Payne's Grey, there's not a lot of skin colours you can't make. Here's a selection of greens. I just mixed together some sap green, phthalo green, Aquarius green and yellow to get this very nice array of colours. I think I might have, yes I did. I think I added a little bit of Payne's Grey to one of the colours there. So you can play around with your greens and there isn't a lot of greens that you won't be able to make. Oh yeah, I added burnt umber as well to some of those greens. So a big variety of greens for all kinds of applications, from the lime to the sludge. What are the next ones? Oh, and the reason I did these little colour swatches that are mixed is because I know that when you do see a set of colours, you will see the swatches mixed out. But I personally think you get a better feel for them when they're grouped together in similar colours. So here's my yellows and oranges. We've got Aquarius yellow, Aquarius orange. I could have done a better job making some slightly more intense oranges there. Cherry quinacridone red, and I don't know what the next one is. We have, oh yeah, and magenta. I think that's it. Yeah, so there you go. There's a variety of oranges and reds from the soft to the very intense. So mix together Aquarius orange and magenta and you can get a super bright red, or Aquarius orange and opera rose and you can get a super intense red. And here are some purples. Again, this is why I add the opera rose or the magenta as a free gift, because I feel that if you want your strong hot pinks and your strong hot purples, you do need that magenta. And sure, I could have left out the cherry quinacridone red, but I feel that your skin tones aren't as soft and as natural looking with magenta. In fact, far from it. And I also didn't just leave in opera rose as one colour, partly because Roman doesn't do it. And the reason he doesn't do it is because it's volatile. It is not light fast at all. And in a portrait, it'll fade. So he doesn't do it. Now, here are some lovely browns, and they're made using yellow ochre, burnt sienna, Monte Ammiata, which is the one that I supply, cypress burnt umber, and I don't know what else. I'm sure I've written it down. Payne's Grey, plus or minus Payne's Grey, and Aquarius Green. There you go. So those are some. Oh, sorry, Aquarius Orange. Beg your pardon. There is a nice range of bright and intense and soft and dull browns and brown greys and reddy browns and orangey browns and yellowy browns. So a very good mix there is possible from the box. this is the range of blue greens that you can make from the colours that I supply. So we've got Ultramarine Intense, we've got Phthalo Blue, we have Payne's Grey, the indispensable, the one and only indispensable Payne's Grey. I keep trying to use other ones and I always keep coming back to Payne's Grey. And the one made by Roman Szmal is a particularly lovely Payne's Grey. It's not too blue and it's not too grey. Sap Green and Phthalo Green and Aquarius Green. Yes, Aquarius Green. So some gorgeous blue greens that are suitable for loads of things, and certainly the water around the shores of Ireland. So let's take a look at all the colours that I've mixed so far from those 12 colours. Well, plus or minus the optional extra ones. But it's a very, very versatile range. Now, I had a bit of a empty square on one of the pages and I couldn't leave it like that. So I thought, well, what other colour mixes can I do? And I figured you'd like to see the optional extras. So I've got Shadow Grey, Opera Rose and Mineral Violet. Now, the only thing is I realised that the Opera Rose would look too bright next to the Shadow Grey colours. So it's Shadow Grey, Mineral Violet and Opera Rose in that order. And on the top row, I've got Shadow Grey and I've mixed it with Burnt Umber, Aquarius Green and Ultramarine Intense. And then on the middle row, I've mixed Mineral Violet with Burnt Umber, Aquarius Green and Ultramarine Intense. And then on the bottom, I've mixed Opera Rose with Yellow Ochre and then Burnt Sienna and finally Burnt Umber. So as you can see, I've mixed up the order of the numbers and they're all still soaking wet, so hopefully they'll dry a little bit flatter. So there you go, guys. That is a lot of colour varieties, and here's the picture that I came up with using that palette, and of course the picture done by my beautiful daughter and lovely companion, Liv. So I hope you've enjoyed this. And don't forget, if you like my videos and if you'd like to know more and like to see more sketching demos, like and subscribe and turn on that notification bell. I don't even know where it is, but I'm sure you can find it. And of course, I'll have lots of product reviews and cool tutorials coming this summer. So I'm looking forward to that. See you next time.